That's just a label. It's not everybody happy but not me. That is self-cherishing. Because, could you bear this? Could you bear it happily? When you see everybody happy but you, could you bear it happily?
But on the other hand, you said...
No, I'm not finished with the question. Could you bear it happily?
No.
No, because what? If you could bear it happily, you'd be happy. Yeah. Okay.
You said yesterday that we should put ourselves at the lowest.
Yeah. So if you are able to do this, you will be happy. This is the thing. It's your self-cherishing who says, but you will be terribly unhappy. Because what happens if we put ourselves the highest? Does it bring us happiness? What does it bring if we are very high up?
There you go. The self-cherishing.
What does it bring?
Anger of others.
A lot of fear that you will fall. When you're down, there's no fear to fall because you're already down. If we don't think of ourselves as special, I don't get the best food, I don't get the best this, I don't get the best bed, I'm in a room with too many people, it's okay, because why not? I'm not special. When do we suffer? When we don't get what we want. Because I'm special, I should get what we want. Does the mother who sees herself, her happiness, less important than the happiness of children, when she gives them the last piece of cake, does the mother, is the mother unhappy? No. That's the mind we're trying to develop. Yeah? But because we have this habit of seeing ourselves first and then the others, this is why we suffer. That is the cause of all suffering, because we create negative karma. Is that clear? Imagine a mind that could let go everybody else first. And you think, okay, the main thing is that they're there first. And you're happy. Do you want to have such a mind? Well, these methods are creating such a mind. And that's not to create an unhappy mind, that is to create a happy mind. Hey, but it's hard work again, because it goes so much against our habits. So much against. Because, okay, the verse, whenever I am with others, may I see myself as the lowest of all. The verse is not finished there. How does it continue? Itzik. The second verse. Of these 8 verses of Langri Tsangpa. Also, Itai should know them, because you said you've been studying them. The second verse. Whenever I see myself...
Whenever I interact with others, I will view myself as inferior to all, and I will try myself to hold others supreme.
And hold others respectfully as supreme. What happens when you are with somebody that you respect for their qualities? What kind of mind state comes up?
Appreciation. Appreciation.
Appreciation. What happens when they get a lot of praise? When you appreciate their presence and their knowledge and their skills? What happens?
You make them...
They behave accordingly. They
Huh?
become like people that you...
No, with us. What happens with us? Like I see that I have
Well,
no
happy.
problem to see the Dalai Lama is higher than myself. When I hear people praise him, what happens in my mind? I'm happy. I'm not jealous. So these two go together. Not just, oh, I'm no good, I'm the lowest of all. No, no, no. It's to learn to see the qualities in others. And we're not protecting qualities that they don't have. We really start to look for qualities, because the moment you respect somebody, your mind is protected from doing negative karma. You're not getting angry at the people. You're happy when they're there. You're happy to help them. You're happy when they succeed. But we cannot start to respect them by feeling, not inferior. We cannot start to respect them by feeling superior. Then we say, okay, well, we're equal. That's not really respect. Respect comes when we see qualities in somebody that we don't have. And we would like to have. Okay? So that's the whole verse. To train the mind to see the qualities in others, because the moment we see the qualities and there's no anger, there's no aversion, we're happy seeing these qualities because then we can learn something. Imagine there would be nobody in the world that is better than you in terms of mental development.
You will stop.
Totally stuck. But what happens when you dislike the person that has more mental qualities than you?
You learn.
Huh?
You learn. You want to be like.
When you dislike the person,
Dislike.
what happens?
You're angry.
You get stuck.
Jealous. So we want to destroy these qualities. We kind of try to look for faults in them. You see, this habituated mind to see mistakes or to see faults or flaws in other people, it's such a stupid mind. Because there seems to be some kind of happiness that comes up when we see faults in somebody that we dislike. But it's not a happy mind. It's a mind that is disturbed, becomes aggressive, criticizes. Criticizing mind is not a happy mind. A praising mind is a happy mind. But we totally focus on the negativities in people.
It's a habit also.
Then we develop anger. And anger is not happiness. And it creates negative karma for us. So this is how it works. This is why we want to change these mind states. But if you, okay, you wouldn't then admire me from being able to draw so well, because I can't draw, I can't work with my hands. Okay? So you need to find something in somebody else that they have what you don't have. And then we start to develop respect. But this is only the second verse. What's the first verse? No, not here. It's in the 8 verses.
With the wish to achieve the highest aim, which
The wish to achieve the highest aim, seeing all beings as a wish-fulfilling jewel, I will constantly practice holding them dear. That's the first step for bodhicitta. Okay? You see, these are structured ways of practicing, and I have to go through this in one weekend. So of course when we are in point number 6, you say, this is too difficult and this is not possible. Because why? Because you didn't train in the preliminaries. But I'm just giving you the method. I'm not asking you to be able to do it. I'm only asking you to understand the structure and the method. That's all I'm asking. Okay, so Tong Leng, you understand, you take the bad stuff, you give the good stuff. First with yourself and then with others. These two should be made to ride on the breath. So breathe in, bad stuff, breathe out, good stuff. Concerning the 3 objects, 3 poison and 3 virtues, is like whenever somebody has a lot of attachment that you also have, like an addiction, for example, you take that attachment from that person so that the person is free from that. Whenever somebody is angry at you, you see the aggression in the person's mind. And whenever somebody is angry at us, what happens? We also get angry, whether we want or not. This is a very habitual reaction in human beings who are not trained. And we think it's right. We think it's good. We think it works. So then you think, no, I need to protect myself from getting angry. So I take the anger of the other person to put it on the self-cherishing who creates the anger. That is almost magic. I don't know if anybody of you has ever tried this. It's not that the other person will stop to be angry at you, but you are not getting angry. Because why? Because you're out of the self-cherishing, oh that hurt so much, that anger mind. You've gone into compassion. May this other person be free from suffering, of anger. I take it. Let me have it. Let me experience it. This is Tong Leng. It is compassion. So not that I want to have to suffer, but let the other person be free from suffering. If you want to do Tong Leng, if you want to create compassion for yourself, you do it with yourself. with your future self. May I be free from suffering. That is compassion. And you actually act on that compassion. You breathe it in. When you breathe out all your good stuff, that's love. May that person be happy. May that person be well. So if you're afraid of aggression, you should be afraid of your own reaction to the aggression. So that is a very, very good method. You don't need to say anything. You don't need to, you can do it right there. Somebody gets angry at you, you say, oh, that person is suffering. They have a totally distorted view of reality. This is why they are angry. I take the anger. And you breathe it in. It needs courage. And it needs a will to see that other person happy. Because usually when we dislike somebody, we quite like to see them angry because we see that they're suffering. And it puts us as higher than them. Isn't it? This is the game that anger plays. The triumph. I made you angry. So all this happens on a very, very subtle level that we're not aware of it. If you practice for a number of years, all of a sudden you start to see the games that we're playing with angry people. Because it gives us power over them. Because they lose the power, they lose control. So you can bring that into the discussion group. Anger versus compassion. What is anger? What is compassion? And your own experiences that you have made with angry people. How you react usually, and what works and what doesn't work. The instruction to be followed in short is to be mindful of the practice in general by taking these words to heart in all activities. So basically, Tonglen is the whole thing here. Tonglen is the main practice of this whole text. Taking the suffering of others, giving away our happiness. Emptiness we've done enough, so we can leave point 2a, and now we make a break. Okay, so and then we do Tonglen. So I leave it up to you what you want to do. Either just with yourself, or if you want to take a friend, or even here now, as I say, first do it with yourself and all that, and then when you're okay and you're ready, do it with others. Be a bit courageous. Like for example, when you know somebody's angry at you, somebody dislikes you, try to take that anger upon your own dislike for that person. Dislike is anger. Upon your own dislike for this person. And give it to the self-cherishing who's sitting like a black rock here, who is playing all these games, who has all these moments of triumph. I made you angry. Yeah? And then see what happens. And then whatever patience you have, whatever peace you have, whatever courage you have, you breathe it out in the form of light and you give it to the other person. Try it out. The person is not here. Nothing will happen to you, okay? So it's okay. No need to be afraid. If the self-cherishing says, by the way, Sarah, have you noticed I exchanged ego for self-cherishing, so it's more clear what we're doing here? If the self-cherishing, that one who is, the self-cherishing is this voice, who is always going like, oh, we make a break in 2 minutes. If you would have that, then you would be happy. If you would have other neighbors, you would be happy. If you would have a partner, you would be happy. If you would have no partner, you would be happy. If you would have children, you would be happy. If you would have no children, you would be happy.
New car.
New car. Less kilos, more health. Less health, no. But yeah, maybe, sometimes people think that they hate work. And I think, if only I'd be sick, I wouldn't have to go to work. So that also. Yeah? This is the self-cherishing. The self-cherishing who says in the morning, you should get out of bed. And it says, only 5 minutes more. Come on, you slept 5, 6, 7 hours. And this one says, 5 minutes more will make the change that you will be really rested. And then another 5 minutes, and another 5 minutes. And then what happens? You're late. And you get stressed. So you have the self-cherishing and you have the wisdom. So the self-cherishing says, I'm still so tired. And the wisdom says, okay, just make a decision to go to bed earlier tonight. I will let you go to bed earlier tonight. Yeah? So make that decision. And then you tell this, I don't want to get up. Come on, get up, otherwise you'll be late. Like a mother talking to the spoiled kid. Our self-cherishing is the golem. Sometimes happy, sometimes sad, but always lying. Always promises of things that never work. How many of you have not had the thought, when school is finished, I will be happy? How many of you have not had that thought? For most of us, school is finished. Well, where is that promised happiness? As kids, when I'm grown up, I'll be happy because I can eat all the chocolate that I want. Where is that happiness? Then, you know, you go to work, then you start thinking, you start calculating your years. When I'm on a pension, I will be happy. It's not true, so don't follow these things. Learn to be happy now with what you have. Otherwise, we always think happiness, self-cherishing always thinks happiness is around the next corner, and then the next, and then the next. Then you're in front of death, and you go, oh, when I'm dead, I'm really happy. Yeah, some people think like that. They've probably been thinking like that their whole life. There's no happiness to be had now. It's only when I have this, and this, and this, and this. But because it's not true, because happiness is depending on the state of mind, a calm, stable, sane, and sober mind is a happy mind. That's what we're trying to produce. An agitated, self-cherishing, only me, I mind is an unhappy mind. And a spoiled child is an unhappy kid. So then we start to use some discipline, and we go against that one. So whenever you see, you get into the habit to use it all the time. If your practice works well, you breathe out so much light to all beings who also practice. Yeah. If your practice goes really not well, you have resistance, you're angry, you're depressed, you're bored, you breathe in all the boredom and all the resistance of all beings in the form of black smoke. Things go well in your life, you breathe it out. Things don't go well in your life, you breathe it in. Because the other way around doesn't work. That's what I said. This young girl who said, how is that supposed to make me happy? So I said, well, what are you doing usually? She said, well, I'm trying to keep the good stuff, and I'm trying to get rid of the bad stuff. I said, does it work? Are you happy? She says, no. So I said, well, now we're trying something new. But don't force yourself to do it. You need to want to do it. You need to do this voluntarily. So it's just a method. So it's up to you. Yeah. Do come to the meditation, please. Now we make we make a break until 11, and then we meditate for half an hour. We do that meditation for half an hour. If you don't want to do the practice, still come, because you're part of a course that you're supposed to come to sessions, and then just do awareness or whatever other meditation you want to do, or just breathe out light and give. Because that's another thing that we need to discover. To breathe out light, and we see that actually by breathing out all my good stuff, I'm not losing anything. I'm actually gaining. I get more spacious and more calm. So maybe you can just do that. Yeah? Okay. Anyway, I'll explain again a little bit before we start. And then we start with point number 3 in the afternoon. That's the plan anyway. 3 and 4 we do in the afternoon. That's on the schedule. So we're not doing too bad. But thank you very much for your discussions and for points and your use and your questions. It was great. It's still good to talk about these things, yet we have to understand there is no good solution nowhere to be found. We need to understand emptiness. But we have half good solutions, we have really rotten solutions, and we have 90% good solutions to things or methods, okay? Thank you.